Okay. Well, something else we got to do if we're going to redeem the time is we got to get organized, because getting organized is so crucial to redeeming the time. Now, you might think, hang on a second, is that one in the Bible? It sure is. The Apostle Paul, writing to the Corinthians, giving them instructions, said, let everything you do be done decently and what? Who knows? In order, right, because he knew that a disorganized church would never be an effective church in reaching their world for Jesus Christ. Here's a definition which I like for organization. It just means arranging my life so God can use me to my fullest potential. That's what it means to be organized. Now, I want to give you something that I think will be a help to you in this matter of organization. It's a little date book organizer called a day timer. It's a little date book that has a place in it each day. You can write down specific things you need to get done. Another section over here, you can keep track of how you're using your time. It has a place down here you can put prayer requests. Now, you think about this. You're back home. You're walking through the grocery store and you see Sister Bottle Stopper from church. She says, oh, I'm glad I ran into you today because something's just come up I want you to help me pray about. We'll say, why, yes, Sister Bottle Stopper, I'll help you pray about that. Sure will. We get home and do we pray about it? Now, is that because we don't care about Mrs. Bottle Stopper? I don't think so. It's because we what? We forget. Exactly. Now, go back to that same grocery store, except this time you're going to say, well, yes, Mrs. Bottle Stopper, I'm going to help you pray about that. Matter of fact, let me write it down right now so I don't forget. Then you're home and you place a prayer, you open it up, you take it to the Lord. Here's my question. Aren't you more effective as a Christian when you're better organized? Now, in the front of it, you might want to stick a little gospel tract. Now, I didn't grow up in a Christian home and really never had much of a serious thought at all about God as a boy until I was about 12 years old. One day, I was out knocking on doors, selling magazines for my school. A lady opened the door and said, son, I don't want your magazine, but let me give you something. Well, she gave me this little gospel tract called This Was Your Life. I took it home that afternoon and I read through it. And you know, for the first time, the thought really began to strike me that I am going to die someday, and I am going to have to stand before God, and I will have to spend forever somewhere. Now, I didn't become a Christian that day, but I want you to know something happened. A fear of God came over me that day that I could not completely escape for 7 years, till those fellows I told you about earlier at the university came along and helped lead me to Christ. Here's my point. I am a Christian today because back there about 30 years ago, somebody was organized enough to have a gospel tract ready when that 12-year-old boy came knocking on our door. And folks, I'm hoping 20, 30 years down the road, somebody can point back to you or me or your institution as the means that God used to bring them to salvation as well.